suddenly, understand that I had some lamb today.
Great. No judgment, Tech.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. You are listening to episode number 78. This is a show where we like to talk about things like comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, political discourse, sometimes, but always Star Trek. I am your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hey, Midget Radio, how are you today?
Doing well, Tactic Angel. It's been too long. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I am okay. Nestling into my couch with a delicious glass of the Crown Royal Texas Mesquite. Back on that again, because one of the things we talk about today is going to have a Texas theme, I think.
Sure. Okay.
Actually, I'm not even sure where it is, but it's definitely in a place where they wear cowboy hats.
Oh, yeah. Well, good to hear. I'm drinking the Shiner Bock today. I'm all out of kilt liquor. I just got the Shiner.
Okay.
Not a bad alternative.
Still easing into spring with some more beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice.
I love it.
Also Texas themed, technically.
Yeah. Shiner, Texas.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So anyway, we're talking about something that you suggested, and we finally got around to. These things usually just sit on a backlog for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
When we're like, I don't know what we want to talk about. I don't know. But today we're talking about Scott Adkins. Scott Edward Adkins, born 17th June 1976, is an English actor and martial artist who is best known for playing Russian prisoner fighter Yuri Boyka in a 2016 film Undisputed 2, Last Man Standing. I'm gonna be real honest, I didn't write this.
Really?
I have never heard of that movie.
Strangely enough, I think a sequel to a movie starring Ving Rhames and Wesley Snipes, maybe? Don't remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it called Undisputed?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's going the cheap route, right? Like the Kickboxer thing. Kickboxer Vengeance 30 years later.
Exactly. Well, this is the realm of movies that we are in, Tactic Angel. These action movies, pull no punches, and yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So he's also been in several other things, including Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which apparently had a bit part, because that probably was a good thing for you. Bourne Ultimatum, Expendables 2. Once again, I saw that, but I don't recognize him.
I think mostly a lot of stunt work, but yeah, in those movies.
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is a guy that you suggested that I watch 3 films.
Yeah.
We're going to power through these. This is a full-on spoiler thing. We don't care.
Nice.
You're probably not going to watch these things. You probably already tuned out, listener.
Probably.
But these are things that Midget Radio and Tactic Angel care about.
Mm-hmm.
People who punch other people and get things done.
Most definitely. I mean, the broader perspective here, right, is that we're looking at, we both love action movies. The action movie itself has kind of died. It's been dead for a while. We're seeing a little bit of a resurgence in like the John Wick films. But you know, while the mainstream Hollywood has kind of abandoned the genre, it is alive and it is alive and productive in the B movie arena. And I think I've watched a ton of these movies. I think Scott Adkins is pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to these kind of movies. So yeah, I figured this is kind of the best introduction into this world.
Fair. That's a good summary. That's kind of why I asked if you wanted to to take the reins on this one, but whatever. I understand.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. I got nothing else. I don't want to. I hate hosting. So
very professional host. So I have a first one I watched. We're going to talk about these briefly in order and then kind of as a group.
Okay.
I think that's how we'll do it.
Well, do you want to go through the list, like, because I don't know if you watched all four, because I suggested
I did
four.
not watch
I made one
all
optional.
four.
Okay.
I watched the ones that weren't. Otherwise, I mean, like I could have sat around another week, but I think I want to see Shazam of all things.
Yeah.
I think that's this week.
Is it? God, is it already? Okay.
I believe so.
All right.
So anyway, the first one I watched was The Debt Collector.
Okay.
Some Asian dudes dressed in black on black on black show up in a dramatically lit dojo to say that their kung fu school is better than his kung fu school.
Yeah.
Which is to say, traditional.
Yeah.
This movie throws exactly one curveball, and if you don't pay attention to it in the first few minutes, then you might just miss it. Scott talks to his dojo buddy about collecting some scratch because he's gonna default on his loan. So what he does is get a job collecting other people's debt with the force of his kinetic charisma.
Love it.
I don't know if these movies are written intentionally to be like a 90s action movie.
Yeah.
But how many okay, my dojo is better than your dojo.
Yeah.
Literally the plot of Drunken Master.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that you don't get is the debt collecting, and that being kind of an unsavory business.
Yeah.
But I was shocked by this movie because you start out, right? And he gets in a fight in the first 30 seconds. And then he takes a job as a debt collector. And then you go to a place, you talk to a dude.
Yeah.
And then he has a bigger dude who tries to fight you.
Yeah.
Or he has several dudes who try to fight you.
Yeah.
And let's do that over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. I fucking love this movie. I love this movie so much because one, like, I think Scott Adkins and the actor who plays Sue, Louis Mandalore, I think, is.
I thought he was great.
He's fucking fantastic in this movie. And their chemistry together is wonderful. I love that Sue is a former boxer in this movie. Scott's obviously bringing his martial arts into the game, but like he's such a down on his luck, like drunk piece of shit. Sue's just like an immediately sympathetic character. He's fun, like he's funny and kind of sad and broken down. And stuck in this business that he kind of hates, but I don't know. I just like this is probably the most legit movie that I've seen as far as like B action movies go, because it's really simple, it's extremely straightforward, and as redundant as the plot line is, I mean, it really is like simple. He needs money for his fucking dojo, so he goes out and collects debts from people, and that's literally like just about all that happens. But one of the aspects of this movie that I love so much is that it's centered around they basically have to go put the hurt on this dude who maybe cheated on or who fucked this other guy's wife, maybe. But what I love about this is that every time they try to find out where this guy is, all they hear about is what an angel and what a perfect fucking gentleman this dude is. And so it introduces this like really interesting element in the plot where you have these two guys whose job is to go out and beat on people who are being told over and over that the guy that they're about to beat on is a fucking saint, apparently. And they have no idea why. Like, what is so great about this guy and why they keep hearing this shit. I just really enjoyed that part of the plot because it's funny. Like they just expect that, like they're going out to collect debts. They expect the people that they're collecting debts from to be pieces of shit, which they usually are. And I just love that element that, it's funny.
So one of the things that I was thinking about as this is going on, and I don't remember the director offhand, who I think he's a Russian director, who would insert like random footage of sheep into the middle.
So the director is Jesse V. Johnson. He and Scott Adkins have done a ton of movies together, and there are many more upcoming. He tends to make the better films that Scott is involved in, but I didn't understand it was a little annoying.
No, you didn't?
I mean, I got it, but it was annoying.
I thought it was, okay, first of all, this is the first one of these movies that I've watched. And, we talked about the just really unfortunate and mostly pathetic things that Steven Seagal has been doing with his life since Under Siege.
Yeah.
And by and large, even before then. But, like, once he had enough money to eat whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
So, like, we talked about that. And the production quality of those films with a person who's arguably a bigger name is, I mean, not arguably, he is. He was in an actual movie. He was in several actual, released to movie theater movies.
Yeah.
He might have only been in one or two of them that were any good, but he was in them.
Yeah.
He was well known enough to be made fun of on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm watching this, and, they go and they get into the first fight, and then they're running away. And, like, the interior work of this, like, even the fight in the dojo is pretty.
Yeah.
Then you have another fight that's kind of a little bit inside, but then it turns into a chase outside.
Yeah.
And you have, characters who are walking around cars, getting in and out of them. And like the frame that they're using is shockingly good. Like in terms of just straight up, how do you shoot an action movie? They know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
And it's really I mean, like there are several times, Sue gets in the car and he's in a severe close up but you still see Scott and he's in the back and like he puts on a pouty face. It's like, man, this isn't what I thought I was getting into. Yeah. And then he walks around and gets in the car too. And then it'll shift the field of view and you haven't moved the camera but a little pan and you've got all this stuff happening. And it's just like from a cinematic point of view, I do not expect this in The Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
And that's a movie that's excellent. And I think you can watch it on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
It is. I love that movie, even though it's a little underestimated. Yes, I'm Arnold Braunschweiger.
It's a super fun movie.
So, like, I was just impressed with that.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they're cutting through all this stuff about the cow.
Yeah.
And then they get to the very end where, the guy gets away with his little girl.
Yeah.
And then the little girl asks, do cows have a good life before they die?
Yeah.
And like, I just liked that. I liked it. You tied it together. You're like, you know what? This is a little pretentious, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's also kind of funny.
Yeah.
that you're even putting this into fist fight, 6 lines of dialogue, fist fight, 6 lines of dialogue, fist fight.
Yeah.
6 lines of dialogue, roll credits.
Yeah. Yeah. And
but this is actually this was a very well done movie. Like after the first day when he gets done and he's like taking stock of what he's done, like I was afraid that like if day 2 is just like day 1, this movie is gonna get really tired.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it kind of takes a turn.
Yeah.
And I like it. And then you see, it's his buddy at the dojo who's a bad guy. Great.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
and Sue solves that problem.
Yeah. Hell yeah, he does. Hell yeah, he does. Yeah, I really enjoy this movie. I think they have just awesome chemistry together, which you never see in a movie of this caliber. Honestly, the performances like by themselves are what to me like that's what makes this movie stand out among these kind of films, because I really like both of those characters together. And it's funny too. Like parts of it are funny. I just really like. And the stunt work is fucking awesome. Scott Adkins is a complete badass. The stunt work is really fun. The fights are really well put together. But yeah, I just like it's funny too. Like I love when they're in the bar and Sue's got that guy on the ground and he keeps poking him with a fucking toothpick. Like it's just like it's fucking annoying, and like you can feel how goddamn annoying that is. Like it's just hilarious. Like,
meanwhile, Scott's in the background.
Scott's getting his ass handed to him at that time. I love that too. And almost all of these fights start off with Scott Adkins just getting beat to shit and having to come back from it. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I liked it, and I was in a good place after seeing this movie.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah. It's funny.
We're gonna keep the show moving, so that we can get through all three, and then I think there's some commonalities.
Yeah.
And some high level points about action, and also about Scott, particularly as an actor.
Yeah.
Etc. So second one I watched was Ninja, and by the way, thank you for making me watch something that I could only find on the Roku channel.
Oh, was it only on Roku? I couldn't remember if it was on Amazon or not.
Thought it was on Roku.
Okay.
So I must have watched 37 commercials for the new Care Bear TV show.
That sounds awesome.
And I'm like, what's the advertising strategy? You know, like we talked about it when we saw what's her face in Peppermint, right?
Oh yeah.
And how the Ruth Bader Ginsburg "I'm a Slut for Justice" movie came out.
Yeah. And
it was playing beforehand, and I was a little bit worried about, what was going to happen in the movie I was about to watch.
Sure.
So like, at least then you could be like, well, there's a woman in both movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get from Ninja to Care Bears.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a little off-putting, but
Care Bear.
Yeah.
Magical rainbow powers. Interesting. But anyway, Ninja, not to be outdone by The Debt Collector, Ninja is the most 90s movie that has ever happened to be made outside of the 90s.
Yeah.
You have ninjas, a flashback to centuries ago with a voiceover, a dojo, the tale of a student that lost his honor and then goes on a murderous rampage to get a magic sword. Yeah. And you have to save the girl too.
Yes.
Scott Adkins is a curiously white guy in Japan who has a really bizarre reason for being there.
Wasn't it like a crash, like a plane crash or something? I don't remember what the fuck it was.
So I guess somehow his father ended up with custody, and then his father got all drunky, and I think it was a car crash. But
okay.
Might have been a plane crash.
I don't remember.
Because when they go to New York, they're like, I tried to find my mom, but it turns out she died just before the movie. That's too bad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it starts in Japan, heads to New York, like I just said, and they're trying to keep the magic sword away from the psycho assassin ninja guy.
Yeah. So yeah, like this, like The Debt Collector, this is an extraordinarily simplistic plot line, which is, I think, fantastic. And yeah, I like this movie a lot, mostly because the fucking fights in this movie are awesome.
I had to say, of all the fist fights, I think that the fight in the subway car might be my favorite.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. There was one, I can't remember if this is Ninja or Ninja 2, but I'm pretty sure it's Ninja. But there's a fight like it's almost like a dance. It's like a dance club or something like that, or I don't remember what the fuck it is. But just some of the stunt work in that was really fantastic. But yeah, this movie is from the dude, the director on this one was Isaac Florentine, who also did the Undisputed and the Boyka movies, which I actually haven't seen either. I haven't seen any of the Boyka stuff, but he's got a pretty extensive relationship with this director as well. But yeah, I just love the fucking fight scenes in this movie. And it's fun. It's a movie called Ninja, and it's not a bad movie.
It's not a good movie.
Which is always surprising when it's a movie that has the word ninja in it. Like, you're like, well, this is probably going to be terrible. But
off the top of my head, I think Mafia versus Ninja is a fantastic movie. But it's not because it was any good.
Yeah, well, I love American Ninja 1 through 5, I think. And not because they're good movies, but because they were made in the 80s and 90s. And
thinking Samurai Cop, but that's Samurai. It's close.
No.
pretty much the same deal though with Samurai, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are no good. Maybe The Last Samurai, if you don't count most of the stuff that happens in the movie.
Yeah,
it's at least pretty.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So I'll give it that.
That is true.
Tom Cruise has that face the entire movie. That good for him.
Yep. Kicking ass.
I don't think that the fight in the dance club was in this one. So,
Oh, damn it. Okay. Well,
I think you ruined Ninja 2 for me.
Did
Darn
I?
it.
It's super. Well, it's actually like, I mean, it's of essentially the same caliber as this movie. It's not as good, I don't think, but yeah, I like this. I like this movie a lot. And like 90% of it is because I think the fucking fight scenes are just awesome, all the way through. Yeah. And it's impressive, like the amount of work. Like even the fight in the street. I just loved it. I loved all the stare downs between him and the rogue student. It was a lot of fun. And it is absolutely unapologetic with all the ninja shit. I mean, they are dressed up. They are to the nines fucking ninjas, man. Like,
they're dressed up. They're doing the poison thing.
Oh, it's badass.
Like, and like literally the sword is supposedly magic.
Yeah.
Though I guess it just has the antidote to everything.
I guess so. Yeah. I think that was really all it was. But
is she a ninja too?
Yes.
Is she as randomly helpless as she is in this movie?
That was the only kind of frustrating part of this, because like the subway fight was kind of cool because she was like participating, a little bit, and it's like I know this bitch can fucking fight, like let her fucking fight, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
In the first, once you get past like the narration and the flashback to 1,000 years ago, the first thing that we see is Scott. He's sparring with her, and she bests him like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah. And then she needs to be saved a whole bunch. It's frustrating. It's something I'm kind of used to writing off, having seen so many fucking action movies. You're like, okay, this bitch is going to have to get rescued a bunch of times. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's particularly annoying in this because she can fight, and it's cool to watch them fight together. But, oh well, what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, this isn't True Lies where it's like Harry has to go save his wife. Because he's been putting on the CI or the IRS tax auditor thing.
Yeah,
another great movie. I just love Arnold so much.
Me too.
True Lies is such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, James Cameron, man. I don't know.
Why do I always have to be in the truck? Next time, you get to be in the truck.
What do you want to bet the director's cut of True Lives is a fucking train wreck?
Well, if it's like Terminator 2,
God.
then it's nigh unwatchable.
Yeah.
My question is, how much of that do you think is recovered in reshoots, and how much was it just like he shot all the things that you needed in order to make it, but he just couldn't put the puzzle pieces together?
I don't know. I don't know. I would kind of guess it's the latter, but yeah, I don't know.
It makes less sense if you have all the pieces and you can't make a movie.
I know. I know.
So Ninja also pretty solid action movie.
Really fun, yeah,
I'd
really
say,
fun. Definitely watch Ninja 2. If you enjoyed this one, I mean, yeah, absolutely watch Ninja 2.
That one, strangely enough, is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Ninja 1? No.
Ninja I don't
2,
know why that is, but
yes.
yeah. I believe it's called Ninja.
Well,
Shadow of a Tear.
But then you have the it's like if you go on to Amazon Prime right now, you can watch any Matrix movie that you want as long as it's not the good one.
Oh God, fuck that.
Do you want to watch Revolutions or Reloaded? Or
fuck no.
I think Reloaded is the second one, and Revolutions.
I think
matter.
so. Yeah, probably Reloaded. That makes sense. Yeah.
Weird,
Stupid.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So third movie you made me watch was called Close Range.
Yes. Close Range.
So barely anything in this registers as a movie. Scott's niece starts the movie in a strangely unsullied solitude, secured to shelving for sanitation supplies. She has a name probably, but we don't know. We don't care because Scott shows up and starts slicing seriously every sombrero sporting sinner.
He wrecks
in
the
several
place.
suites
He
of this hotel. And then they run off to the McCready Ranch to gather his sister and eventually run even further afield.
Yeah.
Unluckily for them, his sister's ex-husband got the niece into the trouble we saw in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he was in league, I guess, with a dirty cop, which, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
We learned that Scott's a good guy when he's not off killing literally every Mexican in sight. Then commence an hour-long gunfight to end all gunfights, or at least this movie.
Yeah.
Interspersed with fist fighting.
Yeah.
So, I have to admit, I should not have watched this one last.
Okay.
Because I found this one to be the most meh.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. So, same dude who did Ninja. Honestly, the only reason I put it on the list was to give us 3 and to make the third one not Ninja 2. And then also because that fucking opening fight is awesome. It's awesome. Like when he barges into that, I fucking love that entire sequence. That's one of the most entertaining stunt sequences that I've seen in a while. He
does murder a lot of people.
It is brutal. Oh shit, it is brutal. Like the thing with he reverses the knife, I think, in the elevator, stabs the dude, takes the knife, stabs the dude in the hand with it, and then takes the hand and stabs him in the face. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's so fucking brutal and it's so efficient. That yeah, it's just a scene that it just reeks of all out fucking badassery. And I love it.
Well,
the movie goes down from there, but
I was wondering what it would be like to write a script and instead of like having 2 or 3 comic books worth of plot before you write DBZ to the end, if you just start out, elevator opens up.
Yeah.
DBZ to the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's Dragon Ball Z, guys.
Yeah.
A thing that I think neither one of us have ever really watched.
Yeah, not really. But
I know of it.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in it whatsoever.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Not judging you like I judge you if you're a Doctor Who fan.
Sure. That's a whole different.
But
yeah,
that's because Doctor Who tried to interlope on my Star Trek, and DBZ stays its dirty paws away from my things.
yeah.
So this movie has a lot of gunfighting in it, and
Yeah.
after watching the other two, it was like, do you remember that movie where Jackie Chan dies?
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember a Jackie Chan movie that had guns in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Strangely not as interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This movie
They
was
do
like,
some
I mean,
stuff.
I like the premise well enough. It's just not a whole lot of very interesting things really happened with it. But I mean, it's one of the things that I kind of like about these movies. This is all pretty much one location. You know, I kind of like that it takes place in that way. It's almost like a fucking bottle episode.
Two locations.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do like that. I mean, the movie's okay. Like, it's okay. This is honestly about the caliber that I would generally expect from films of this nature. It's not.
I would actually expect worse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because this movie's still very competently shot.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
The acting in it is acceptable.
Yep.
Honestly, if you're talking about straight up thespians, we like bigger movies that have worse actors in them.
Yeah.
Many of those actors headlined those movies. Some of them eventually grew into great actors.
Yes.
Though honestly, Seagal, no. Schwarzenegger, yes.
Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
Sly can do it when he wants to.
Yep.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme took some time, but damn it if I don't love him now.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. He's amazing. He's amazing now.
But you go back to that one where he's the hockey dad.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Like
Sudden death?
or something?
Yeah. Sudden death.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sudden death. Yeah. His Die Hard. His Under Siege, I guess. Yeah.
It's
not as good.
no.
It's just the same shit. Oh man, bad guys, they took over a spot. What am I doing here? I gotta help.
What
Defeat
about my
them.
kid?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just the same.
I guess. You know what? I was more invested in Miss January or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, of course, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to stop that sentence right there. It had something to do with strippers and quaaludes. But anyway.
Great. Okay.
So she jumps out of a cake.
Yeah.
I don't know how the kid's supposed to compete with that.
I don't know.
And I don't want
tough
to
act to
explore it.
follow.
So-
Yeah.
It is. It's very, it's tricky.
Tough act
So anyway.
for any 10-year-old to follow. But
So I mean, this is reasonably competently shot.
Yeah.
The opening fist fight is fun. When he gets in the other fist fight with that guy in the wilderness, and he, it's 1-inch blade versus belt.
yeah. Yeah.
And, like that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ultimately, other than like the epilepsy causing back and forth camera work
Yeah.
at the very, very end, I kind of liked how he gave the sheriff the choice.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene. Yeah.
And like,
That went on for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
it's like, Scott, sheriff,
Yeah.
Scott, sheriff, Scott, sheriff, Scott,
Okay.
sheriff, Scott, sheriff. And then it goes back and forth so quick, and I'm like, ooh, even I don't like to watch this.
Yeah. It's a little ridiculous.
And then he makes the wrong choice.
Yep.
He just got off the phone with his son. Jeez, don't you want to be there, Dad? That guy was a
Whatever.
little old to have a kid that young.
A little bit,
Anyway.
but everybody starts at different times. What are you gonna
Dad, that's true. Like 50 something. I got I got a 6-year-old. He's really into t-ball.
Yeah.
He calls me sometimes like, hey, how you doing, kid? Oh, it's great. Dad, I got a game. Like, okay, well, anyway, Daddy's got to go murder some people.
Yeah.
But he did care enough to ask.
True.
I love you, Dad. I love you too,
True.
son. I'll never see you again. I gotta go get shot in the head.
Yeah.
So all 3 of these movies,
Yeah.
I noticed something.
Okay.
Some very obviously sped up film.
Yeah, that happens. That happens from time to time.
It happens in all 3 of these quite
Yeah.
a bit. So I was kind of like, I'm glad that you know who directed it, but I think, is Scott in charge of most of his own productions?
I don't know. He's so
'Cause I did
incredibly
see on one of them-
prolific that maybe, but yeah.
He probably writes them too. It's like, well, elevator, DBZ to the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I like what you're thinking, Scott. I watch Ninja. There's too much exposition.
Yeah.
What if we cut out the 30 seconds at the beginning of the movie where we explain the ninja poison?
Yeah.
And then we take out all of the relationship scenes
Sure.
with a attractive Asian lady
Yep.
and the rest of the talking.
Yeah.
Scott's a good guy. He was in the Marines until his commander told him to do something he wasn't supposed to do, and he would never betray the uniform and what it meant to take that oath. That's why he must live the life of a criminal, murdering all of these Mexicans.
Yep. Those Mexicans shot first. But
No, not in the beginning.
no, definitely not in the beginning. I'm not sure that they had much opportunity to shoot in the beginning.
What was interesting actually in that movie is like the guy before the fight in the wilderness loses his gun and then decides that he's just not going to try for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're going to do the fisticuff thing. And he immediately pulls out a knife and you're just like, what an asshole.
It's fucking great.
Our good guy's an asshole. He's like, yeah, you want to get in a fist fight? Well, I'm going to stab you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was there.
Yeah.
That was there.
Yeah.
But I mean, all 3 of them, I like the cinematography.
Yeah.
All 3 of them have some sped up footage. None of them have any writing worth mentioning.
Not really. Yeah. I mean, I love The Debt Collector. I love it.
I'm not saying this is as poorly written as like a Star Trek Discovery episode or even your average
Christ, yeah.
your average episode of like, oh, what is it? Not Birds of Prey. Like, this isn't patently bad. This is functional.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not the sort of thing where we sit around and we're like, do you remember how well written Demolition Man is?
Yeah.
Like, surprisingly well written.
Yeah.
Do you remember The Rock and what a fantastic little plot it had and some pretty good performances?
Yeah.
You're like, like that's top shelf action movie writing. Terminator 2, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, Bloodsport is a good movie.
Fuck yeah, it is.
But in terms of writing, not so much.
No.
Like this maybe isn't Bloodsport level of interesting, but it's definitely not that far from it.
No, no.
In terms of like, if you were to sit down and read the words on the paper, I don't think you get to 1 minute per page. I think it'd be.
Oh, probably not.
I think these are like 20-page scripts.
Yeah.
Bang that out in a weekend.
Yeah, probably.
So. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I like them. I think I think they're exciting. I think they're definitely filling a fucking need. But yeah, I like Scott Adkins. I think he's got overall a pretty fucking solid screen presence. Which is often I think kind of hard to come by. When you come to these kind of movies. But I like him. I like his presence a lot. And I think he does a pretty good job at carrying movies. I think it of course depends on the kind of movie he's in. He's so fucking prolific that a lot of these are crap. I mean, there's a movie of his called Incoming on Netflix, which should have been a really great movie. It's like science fiction. He plays like the captain of a ship and they're going to like this they built a fucking prison in space basically. And of course there's a jailbreak or whatever. So it's like immediately you should be like, all right, Scott Adkins and space prison jailbreak. That should be amazing. It sucks. It really sucks. It's super fucking disappointing. And he's in like, I mean, and to go back to what we were talking about with the sequel shit, that his most famous character apparently is in a sequel that he wasn't in the first, like Undisputed 2 is where that starts for him. But he's in movies like Jarhead 3. He's in Hard Target 2, which I watched recently, which is a sequel to a fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. It's terrible. It's just terrible. But that's, that's the problem I feel like with movies at this level, which I don't remember. They make them all the fucking time. He's doing like probably 3 or 4 movies a year practically. It's ridiculous.
Well, I was a little bit sad when I looked him up. Okay, I have to say 2 things about when I looked him up. First of all, he's an English actor.
Yeah.
In the first movie, he has decidedly an Australian accent. And in the second 2, he's an American.
Yeah.
I thought he was probably an Aussie after watching the first one. In none of these does he have his normal tone of voice.
Yeah. So, well, I think he's much more on par with kind of the debt collector than he is when you actually hear him speak. But yeah. Yeah, he's straight up British.
But okay, like he's probably closer to that because I think your Australian accent's probably closer to, how a British person speaks English than it is to us, where everything's nice, flat, and even.
Yeah.
So, like, I was surprised because I was like, okay, so we're gonna get like the Australian wiry version of an Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's like, no, that's not what you're getting.
Yeah.
The guy can actually do accents. He can actually act.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sure that Arnold Schwarzenegger can say California to this day.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to, for the record.
No, fuck no.
But I mean, this guy's got some chops, and then you see he's like 42, and you're like, oh man.
I know.
Like,
I know.
It's like when Hollywood found out that Jackie Chan was super interesting around exactly this point in his life.
I know. It sucks. It sucks. And like, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because like he's certainly not the only person in this arena that is making these kind of movies. Michael J. White is another one who makes these kind of movies all the time, and some of them are on Netflix, and they're not like a lot of them aren't that bad. There are 2 on Netflix that I can think of right now. I can't remember the fucking names of them, but they're really not that bad. But so what's kind of cool is I feel like the genre itself is, I don't know, it's generating maybe a little bit of its own star power, which is kind of fun. There's a movie Scott did called The Accident Man, which is based on I think it's based on like some British comic book, but it's got him in it. Michael J. White's in it. Ray Park, obviously, Darth Maul from Star Wars And then it's also got, I think, Amy Johnston in it. And Amy Johnston is another, she's almost like, she's almost a modern day Cynthia Rothrock. She's not nearly as prolific. She's only got like, I think, 2 starring roles under her belt right now. One of them is on Netflix. It's called Lady Blood Fight. It's not a very good movie, but it's blood sport with chicks in it. But it's fun. I mean, it's entertaining. And then another one called Female Fight Squad that Dolph Lundgren is in very briefly, but he's in it. It's also not a good movie. But
Also a guy who, I might not go so far as to say that Dolph Lundgren learned how to act, but I do find him incredibly entertaining when I see him.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, he has done a movie with Scott Adkins, which I haven't seen yet, and then Scott's also done, I think, 2 movies now with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I've only seen one of those, and it was okay. But it's cool. Like I mean, it's cool that like this genre, I feel like it does have, it's almost its own little like mini Hollywood a little bit. And then there's a movie that that just came out. It's due out, I think, maybe in April. It's probably in like 5 theaters in America right now. But it's called Triple Threat, and it is like the Expendables for these people. Practically, it's Scott Adkins, it's Iko Uwais, who we saw in Mile 22. Tony Jaa is in it. Michael J. White is in it. Jija Yanin, who's a Thai actress who made a little bit of a splash in the action film genre with this movie called Chocolate. She's pretty kick-ass as well. Michael Bisping from the fucking UFC, who does movies occasionally, is also in this movie. I'm really excited for it. I really want to see it. And it's also, I think, a Jesse V. Johnson. Yeah, it's also a Jesse V. Johnson movie. So same guy who did The Debt Collector. But tons and tons of like action movie martial arts talent in this film. And I don't know, it's like, at least if Hollywood doesn't recognize it, I'm excited at least that these movies are still getting made. And for the most part, I'd say they're competent overall. It is, I think, oftentimes a question of volume, though. It's like for every 6 movies you make, one of them's actually going to be pretty decent, I think. So,
Well, it's like going to the bar and trying to pick up chicks,
Yeah.
Play the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
this Amy Johnston woman is freaking smoking hot.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Amy Johnston kicks ass. Yeah, she's done shitloads of stunt work. That's where so many of these people come from, is just like the straight up stunt work, and she's done a fuck ton of that. But yeah, I like Lady Blood Fight. And I would love to see her do more shit, just like I'd love to see fucking Gina make some more fucking movies with more than 2 fight scenes in them. But I don't know, man. Guess you take what you can get. That's the other side of this.
But I want to say, I mean, like, it would be nice to see some of these people like ascend.
Yeah.
To, like, I understand that, like, I am constantly harping on Dwayne Johnson and being like the guy who could have done it. Yeah. And to a certain extent, if Dave Bautista had stopped wasting his time wrestling and actually started like making films, like these are like the typically Arnold huge dudes. Yeah. Who you might expect and to sort of fill in that gap as Arnold got a little too old to do these things. Yeah. So, like, it would still be nice to see somebody come up from the ranks, and both of those guys, I think, did some stunt work maybe before they did it, and it's not unheard of stuntmen eventually becoming actors. Yeah. But you gotta somehow break that glass ceiling and get through into an actual feature film. Yeah. And even if it's as a backup to, Sly in The Expendables 4, who cares? Yeah. The Expendables 3 had too many characters.
I think so too, but it also had Wesley Snipes, which was amazing. Can love him so much. And I don't know, I think it's a matter of like finding the right project also. Because like, I mean, Batista's done a few movies. I haven't seen one yet that was actually any good. But he's done like a couple of like where he's actually got the leading role, and it's, you know, B level stuff. But it hasn't really like, I don't know. It hasn't been like his blood. Like, they got to find their fucking blood sport, you know, and they're fucking above the law.
Time cop.
And
you gotta find a time cop.
So yeah, it might be an issue. It might be a little bit that as well. But I think like compared to all these guys, I think Scott Adkins has put out just absolutely the most solid stuff, and it'd be nice to see him rise up. And I know like he actually put in for there's a little bit of a online campaign for him to be the next Batman, which would be hilarious.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there is a little bit, yeah, because he's got like a pretty decent fan base. And yeah, I think there was some story about he had sent in like an audition tape or something like that to be the next Batman, and that kind of lit some fires online. And yeah, his fans are real supportive of that. I would love to see it. I don't give a fuck. Scott Adkins is a pimp. He can do whatever he wants. I'd watch him in just about anything.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't be more disappointing than some of the people who played him.
No, I definitely prefer him to Affleck. Come on, man.
Or Val Kilmer for that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. He's gonna be in Ip Man 4 for anybody who likes Donnie Yen. I'm excited to see that. I think that'll be cool to see him in a Donnie Yen movie. And like so many of the greats, it seems like Cynthia Rothrock, he actually got his start in Hong Kong. It takes Hong Kong a lot of times to notice these fucking people before we do. It's sad, but
yeah, what can you do?
Yeah,
kind of feels like Hong Kong's kind of dropped the ball too.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, Donnie Yen's a pimp. I love him a lot.
They're not,
but
they're not people bubbling to the surface, because like in the 90s we had Jackie Chan, we had Jet Li. Bruce Lee's dead.
Yeah, Jet
Li,
yeah,
and
Sammo Hung.
You could say Chow Yun Fat too.
Yeah.
So you have these people who, like, I mean, Chow Yun Fat's not so much about kicking people, but he's still coming up through the same system. Yeah. And I don't know. It's just I haven't seen much coming out of that. I mean, we watched what's that movie that is basically Judge Dredd?
Oh yeah. The Raid. Yeah, The Raid and The Raid Redemption. Yeah.
And like, okay, good luck to him.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's dropping the ball. Somebody make an action movie.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, The Raid, I think was also Iko Uwais. But I think too, like, Hong Kong has gotten a lot safer than it was.
You no longer can throw yourself off of buildings.
Oh my god, dude! Like, even watching, like, honestly, like, I think probably the 80s, that decade for Hong Kong was probably the most amazing, because those stunt guys, holy shit. I mean, they were sacrificing their fucking lives for those movies. And it made, I mean, you could see it in the stunt work itself, just watching some of the falls these fucking dudes have to take. God damn. There's an 80s movie with Cynthia Rothrock and Michelle Yeoh called Yes, Madam, and it's fucking great. You cannot find a solid English translation of that film. Just be forewarned, if you do watch it, it will be problematic. But holy fuck, some of the stunt work. I mean, just watching, there's like dudes falling from like second and third stories, and they have to do these, like, they're not landing on like flat ground, He's got to land such that like his hips hit the ground and his head hits the fucking fountain above it. Like, when you watch that, you're like, I I don't see any pads. Like, I don't see shit.
Is he dead?
I just saw this asshole fall 3 stories and slam his head into a marble fountain. Like, what the fuck? There's so much stunt work like that, and you're just I can't believe that. I can't believe that like they didn't have deaths regularly on those sets. But I mean, holy shit, it makes those scenes come alive, because holy fuck, like,
yeah.
I choose to believe they're all okay. They're just intense badasses.
They got up.
Yeah, got up. Fuck this. Let's do it again.
Oh, you didn't get it that time? The cameras weren't rolling? That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna see much of that anymore. I think it's all gotten a lot safer now, which is fine. I mean, the stunt work is still ultimately really solid. But and then of course, I mean, you can't discount the fact that like Jackie Chan is just unique. He's just incredibly unique and brought something very different to the table with his stunt work that I don't think anyone has been able to duplicate.
That's true. And not a great actor.
No, but incredibly charming. So sometimes that's all you need.
So, Midget Raider, do you have any closing thoughts on this, Scott Adkins?
I don't. I think for anybody that loves action movies, you should definitely check these out. They are worth your time.
I would have to agree. They're eminently watchable, and really everybody's doing a surprisingly good job.
Yeah.
So, I hope the guy can, break through into Hollywood, give us, 3-4 good films before he turns 50.
Yeah.
and then you have to wonder, like, how many stunts is Jackie Chan really doing in Rush Hour 3?
Oh, I know.
Like,
right. Yeah.
They're still entertaining movies.
Yeah.
I actually like the chemistry between Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, me too.
But whatever. Anywho, that has been episode number 78 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video, or subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Twitter. We were at WNG_MME_OPC, or head on over to Facebook, where we are just the Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you again on episode number 79 of this podcast.
Bye-bye.